And hello everyone, good to see ya. Oh, just seeing myself in the camera, and yeah, I could use a haircut, but it's good to have you here. My name is Paul, and I've been going easy on you. But yeah, this is going to be good. It's a lot of Photoshop today. We're going to have a lot of fun. Big thank you to Terry White and Scott Kelby, because I thought that last session was really interesting. So cool, having fun guests. You have me for 30 minutes as we dive into today's daily creative challenge. Let's get this party started. Don't miss the master classes. You can see the schedule below me, but basically you have me for 30 minutes, and then I'll dive into the master class in Photoshop where we deal with more lighting and shadow. And it's going to be a lot of fun. But today we're going to go to New York City. So basically we're going to go from Petra, Jordan to New York City. Does anybody notice this is like a passport stamp, and it's PSPRT, which is Photoshop, and then my initials, and also says passport. So I think I'm pretty clever. But anyways, not really. I just thought it was kind of fun. All right, let's go to my desktop where we have where you can actually see our lovely challenge today. All right. Hello, Stephen. Hello, Valder, Steve, Colleen. Feel free to say hello. Yeah, would love to say hi to you. This is the Creative Challenge URL. Andrea, I see you over there. Good to see you, Andrea. Paste that in there like so, and cross. That is the URL for this Daily Creative Challenge. Of course, join the conversation through good old community chat right here. Discord, but we're going to be doing some content-aware editing, removing objects, background, and things from using content-aware tools. So get started is going to give you this image, bam, that needs a lot of cleanup. I try to find the worst case scenario for cleanup. I actually think the graffiti is pretty cool, to be honest with you. But, you know, for these situations, how do we remove this content? That is the big question. All right. Thank you, Sam, for posting that as well. Hello, Brenda. Stephen James Ward. All right. Mallory. Awesome. Let's do this. So, a ton of fun, super interesting graffiti. I'm totally into it. Stay lovely, people. Love this. I wonder what font he used for that. Just kidding. But what if we did want to remove some of these, like this keg right here? We would use content-aware tools. Okay, so off to the side, and hidden elsewhere, we have content-aware tools. So I typically like to jump in here, and you can go to the spot healing brush is going to be the first one that's selected. Okay, yes. Coffee number 1, down. Moving on. All right, Suchit from Mumbai, good to have you here. Spot healing brush is the easiest one to use, right? Come over here. All right, I'm going to get rid of this blue right here, use my opening bracket on my keyboard, and I can just kind of scrub over that, and then it magically disappears. Okay, and let's just do this. Before I do that, I'm going to actually just do a Command J to jump this layer. So this is going to be the original, so we can compare later on. So then I have this city. So this is what I would typically do, jump in, remove this. This is destructive editing, right? Which means can't really undo it unless I happen to make a layer, okay? Let's grab that like so. Let's grab this little piece right here. And look what's happening at this point, right? We have this situation where it actually is grabbing that top part that we need to take care of. So that's one of the issues you're gonna run into. This is weird. That's a weird poster. Can I not have that on screen? Okay. So let's just actually go down here. I don't want to go near that poster because it's a little weird. But coming here, what it does is it's actually grabbing, and then it actually continues any sort of shape that's next to it, or any of that lighting. But anyways, I'm just kind of grabbing some of that and removing it. Okay, so what it's doing is it's actually sampling from the areas around it. So I can actually control the sampling of where that particular, say, where it will sample from, by the way. Let's try this text right here. It actually grabs, see what's happening here? When I use this tool, it's grabbing this graffiti right here and starts to fill it in right here. So you will run into roadblocks where like, hey, you know what? This isn't quite working out the way I want it to, okay? That's when we go to the next step, which is the healing brush tool. Underneath it, spot healing brush decides for you where it's gonna sample from. Healing brush tool, I get to choose. Okay, selecting that. Hands on in the house. All right, so now what I can do is when you'll select it and then you'll click and you'll get this message. Bink. Oh, you need an option click, Paul, to define a source point, right, before repairing. So that's all we get to do. Option click over here in this dark area. And then as I click, we can see it's actually removing and sampling from that other area. All right, so cool, right? Easy to use. Yeah. Ooh, this is actually one thing I could actually do. I actually kind of I didn't really misspeak, but I basically said that this is destructive, right? I did duplicate this layer. One thing you can do is you can actually create a new layer above the current one and, oops, sorry. I'm zooming all over the place. I'm sorry to make it dizzy. And this could be my content aware sort of patching up, right? So we could have everything on a separate layer if we want to, right? And what happens in this case is I can come over here and I can say sample from the current layer and below, or even all layers. Okay, so current layer and below, come over here, grab this sample, I'm gonna sample over there, and it's gonna sample from that layer and below, grabbing that, sampling, removing, and it's doing the sampling below the current layer. And the nice thing that's happening is it's putting it on this separate layer, okay? So that also works, just so you know. Depends on what you want to do, you know? I typically just end up working on the image. All right, cool. Everything is good to go. So stamped that out, come down here. We can start to stamp this out too if we want to. We can make this smaller, use a spot healing brush tool. Let's get into something more complex. I really love this. Okay, so sample all layers. Same thing for the spot healing brush tool, right? We want to make sure we're sampling all layers to get rid of this right here. Zoop, zoop, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. Like so, we're just doing some simple cleanup right now. But let's take on something that's like a little bit more complex, right? Something that's like along an edge that maybe has some hard edges with it. Okay, we clean that up. Let's go like over here, okay? Actually have kind of this situation, which is easy enough to edit, right? Zip, 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 zip. Take this out. Oop. Stop it. Mute. Sorry about that. Just like that, taking this out. But like, what about this edge right here? So everything looks good till we reach kind of like this point. We'll try to get it, see what's happening. It's like, okay, that doesn't quite work. We could switch over to the healing brush tool. We could sample, by the way, right here, clicking right here, and we can start to patch it up down here, right? That's one way of doing it. What you could even do is, and what I'll use a lot of is the patch tool. This is how I'd patch this up normally. The patch tool. So selecting the patch tool, now I get to define what I want to patch up. I can say, hey, you know what? I'm going to sort of define the source up at the top. It says source, right? And in this case, I actually think I have to be on that layer. Let's just merge this down. But let's go ahead and grab this like so. And then we drag it up I like this because it gives me this preview, so I know when it's lined up. So I can come in here and be like, okay, how does this go? Like right there it is. Boom. And it's all patched up. Yeah. Into it. All right. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful day. I know I'm a little bit in shadow. There we go. And now we're a little brighter. All right, so easy enough. Your job is to really clean this whole thing up as much as possible, and then we'll go ahead and graffiti it maybe with our name, which would be really fun. So yes, how to patch up and then how to destroy. Why not? You know, and again, the nice thing is all these tools are basically using that same functionality, right? I can drag this up. I'm gonna get that. Make sure that's off. Okay, so there is this use pattern. I never have ever used this, just in general, just so you know. Patch is set to normal. There's also content aware, so it's going to be aware of that part. If I move that up, so again, just to show you right up here at the top, this was initially set to normal, so it's just normally patch it, right? But what's going to happen is it kind of bleeds this color in to the part that I'm patching. See, that's what you get. Anytime you get this like watercolor burst, right, you're gonna have to go up here and say, hey, you know, let's make this content aware, right? When I change that to content aware, drag it up, it's gonna be more of a direct patch from that sampled area to the area that you have selected. Content aware Phil he's a good guy. That's right. So again, you run into that, just change your patch to content aware and you're good to go. The amount of structure is sort of the amount of like fall off that you have with those pixels around it. Okay, so we can always try that. Let's try to patch this. Let's change the structure up to 7, move it up. See how we have the structure set to 10, so it has a lot of structure from the sampled area. If I take this down to say 1 and then move it up, it bleeds a lot of it. A lot of the original patching area is still there. So that's what the structure does, right? If you want more blending, you're going to take the structure down, okay? If you want less blending, so on and so forth. You get the idea. Cool. All right, cleaning up. We're cleaning up the streets. Hey, everybody. This is, yeah, pretty essential workflow, right? That's what we want to do. What I will actually do a lot of time is I will just be using my regular selection tool. I'll jump in here. I'll use the selection tool. And I use just I do a lot of this fill. So if I go to fill for a shape, so use the selection tools that you want. I'm used to using the lasso tool. I'll go to fill, and rather than filling with the color, right, we'll fill with content aware, right? So that's what I'll end up doing a lot. Clicking OK. Color adaptation is going to stay. Let's remove this little sticker like so. Shortcut key on a Mac is Shift and Delete, brings up that fill, and then hit Enter. So that's what I end up doing is I come in here, grab an area that I want to remove, boom, make it disappear. Maybe, maybe not, right? That's what I end up doing a lot. All right, so let's take a look at this. Taking things to the next level, let's just kind of patch this up. Maybe we could remove this whole thing, which might be something we can do. Zoop, like that. Let's try this. I'm gonna take this to the next level. Let's grab this. There we go. This part kind of goes along the curve. So let's try this. Clean up and sell. This is, yeah, we're making the online photos for this building. Yeah, so we can sell it. Let's go right up here under edit. Actually, let's select this first. let's select this chunk, and then we'll go to edit. And we went to fill, that's what I was using a lot, but we also have an entire workspace devoted to content-aware fill, right? So it goes through, it automatically selects the surrounding colors. It does an auto selection of how it would clean this up. Sure enough, it gives me this green area, which is where it's going to sample from to fill in this area. Okay, notice how I can subtract. So if I say, hey, you know what, I don't really want to fill in that or use that as a sampled area, I can come in and remove, say, hey, don't automatically sample from that area because it's not quite what we want, right? And we could see it change. So again, here's the original and here's the output. If I undo this a couple times, we could see how this will change, hopefully. All right, let's just undo this. We could see this changed slightly. It actually does already like a really good job. All right. Cool. All right, let me know if you guys have questions. Clean up and sell it, yes. Hello, Wolf from Berlin. If you're joining me elsewhere, join me on, come over here to behance.net/Adobe Live. That's actually the chat that I'm reading. Muriel, I see you over there on Facebook, and Andrea. All right, good day, elephant in the room as well. Cool. Okay, so this is what we can do. We can control what gets sampled in this interface, and then we get other, excuse me, other options. So sampling area is auto. We can also have a rectangle area region to fill an area, and then you can customly sort of manually define a sampling area as well. So if I select custom, click OK, this gives me the option to determine the areas to sample. So now I'm going to grab just this part, right? And then it fills it in right over here. Cool. Let's add a little bit more to this while we're here. Why not? Grabbing that piece, grab this chunk, right? And then let's sample a little bit more. Notice how I'm just kind of grabbing along this like mid-tone range, just because I don't want to have anything lighter or too much darker, but I'm controlling what gets sampled. Does that make sense, everybody? All right, does that make sense? Just casual flexing. I'm just casually flexing there, hope you don't mind. It's ridiculous. Dawn from Maryland, hello. Awesome. So there we have it. We have this interface for removing what we want to remove to get this to a place where we want it to be, just like so, right? Determining those areas. And then you have additional controls. I think everything here makes sense. Sampling area, the color of it, the transparency of it all. The sampling area options, typically it's set to auto. That's usually what you need. And I don't have to worry about color adaptation either. So come down here. Let's see if there's anything else special that we need to worry about. Let's click OK. There it is. It applies it on that new layer. So this layer I did not make. It made this layer for me, which is awesome. Okay, so let's do some more cleanup. Let's jump over here. Try to go as fast as possible, right? Maybe using my selection tool, using my patch tool, right? Taking this poster right here. Just so you know, this patch tool, this is just a selection tool. Let's actually grab this. Let's grab this whole chunk right here, okay? I'm not going to mess with that. I'm sorry. I start looking at that and I'm like, okay. Let's take this. Let's say we want to move this. Power to the people, right? Take this. We'll select it, right? This patch tool currently, this is just a selection tool. I can go down here, content aware move does the reverse of what the patch tool does. So content aware move, right, gives me still, it's just a selection tool. It's not that big of a deal. Grab it and then move it up. So this does two things at once. Typically you do copy and paste this does kind of like a copy and paste. It will do blending and it will patch over the previous area. So as I move it up and hit enter, it patches up the previous area as well. So that's pretty darn amazing, the fact that I could jump in and do that for any one of these. Let's do it with this letter. Let's work on some of this vertical kerning. It's like, okay, this is pretty good with your street art, buddy, but you need to work on a little bit of your spacing. Like there's too much space between the A and then the 1 and then the 3, if that's what this is, right? So we could take that and then do some kerning with our content aware move tool. We've moved it up and we've fixed it a little bit there, right? Cool. Is this not magical or what, huh? You guys into this? I just love this, right? This does everything for me. Grab it. Let's do something a little bit more drastic, moving that over there, right? We could see the blending it did. Remember, this is a little bit more structure to this move. We can always change that structure here to make sure it, oh, is this German? Does this look like, this is in, this actually might be Germany, by the way. I couldn't figure it out for the longest time. Tell me if this is German. Like there's this sign right over here. Is this a German sign? I don't know. Is it a street sign? Right, I have no idea. But I think it's really cool personally. So help me out. Pretty darn cool, right? All right, you guys get the idea. Let me do some more cleanup. Let's do it with this huge area. Let's grab all of this. And all I'm doing is a shortcut key. This is typically what I do is I use the lasso tool, shift, delete to bring up content aware fill, and then we fill it in. So that's what I typically do. Again, I feel like I use my lasso tool for so many things. It's crazy. All right, grab this. Z people, right? Here's the situation where it grabs the sign. So we do a fill, it doesn't work. So that's when we want to do the patch, use the patch tool to sample this area below it. Okay. We'll crank up the structure a lot. Go right in here, grab this, move it down, right? Whoop. Whoa. It maintains the structure. You guys get the idea? Does this all make sense? Clean it up. Feel free to sign your name to it. Why not, huh? Let's go over here. All right. Let's do PRT. Let's do my initials just for fun. All right. So remove some graffiti, add some graffiti of your own. I'm just going to go into, I don't know, something kind of cool. Did not have a font. There we go. Sure, why not? Let's just do chalkboard, right? Here's chalkboard. Let's make it match that that text below it, right? We'll make it a little larger. We're gonna do some trickery, have it kind of over that edge, right? Make it a smart object. It's going to protect it because now I can jump in and use, say, the liquefy. That's what I would do. I'd use liquefy on this. But you could do it pretty much any way you want. Ooh, actually, let's cancel out of this because I think what would be even better is if we go in and you use transform, excuse me, warp. Because warp will allow me to divide it, by the way, right here. So I can kind of put a dividing line right there. Let's add another one right here, boom, right? And then I can add more if I want to. But now I can kind of move this up. So this part will be up, just like that. And then, by the way, I can get rid of these little BZA points. Cool. Das Paul or Der Paul, that's funny. Yeah, we can go with that. So again, it kind of wraps, it kind of bends around that a little bit. this is just kind of fun. Let's take this, get rid of that part, move that up. Actually, I think this is a little bit too drastic. Let's move it back down. Okay, enter. Change the blend mode. I'll usually roll through these really fast just to see if anything's gonna work. Pop, 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 pop. Let's check it. Ooh, hard light. Might do it. It's a little electric. I would smudge it a little bit as well. You guys get the idea. Cool. All right, so also I would probably do a little bit of liquify just to push around some of these pixels a little bit, right? Just to give it a little smudginess. I would just do that. Drag that out, make it look a little bit more irregular, right? Cool. I can even make it drip. Maybe it drips down a little bit. Just a little bit. It's kind of drippy. Right, and I can spend the rest of my time on it. That's a little electric, but you get the idea. Especially in the output, it looks really electric. So yeah. All right, everybody. That's it for now. Join me for the master class. We'll work on the same scene, but actually what we're going to do, we have more scenes set up where we're going to deal a lot with light and shadow. It's a fun day today. Thank you so much. Stick around. We're going to take things to the next level as we dive into the master class in Photoshop. Thanks so much. I'll be right back, everybody. Thank you.